Okay, so I'm going to show you how to make a doll dress in my book. Alright, and here's the doll dress that I made for the doll video. Alright, I made it in advance. You can see it. It has very little sewing involved with it. Okay, so it's a little bit of a challenge, but it's really cute. Okay, so I'm going to show you how to do that. As you can see, this is a little smaller than when you compare it to the book. Keep in mind, if you're going to make the dress that goes with the doll, make sure you use a same weight yarn. My daughter liked pink, and so I had tried to find a pink color that I thought she would like, but I'm also going to make a purple one using a size 5 yarn. Okay, so I'm going to show you how to make this cute little dress based off of my book. Okay, and the first things first, we're going to be starting on the collar area. So that's the first section you do. Okay, so here's how this works. This is classified as the bust, and you're going to be using 4 pegs. Okay, so what you're going to do is you're going to cast on 4 pegs. So you're just going to do 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. Now, you're going to bring these cast on loops back onto the loom. What you might want to do, just to be safe, is to go ahead and put markers in place, so that you can bring those back up when we finish this section. Now, I did not put that in there when I originally did this. There's a lot of stuff that I've tried to do since then to try to help make it easier for people to learn these patterns. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to take and we're going to put a stitch marker on those cast on loops. Okay, because you're going to be bringing those back. And you know you're going to be bringing those back because if you read your pattern before you start, which I always suggest doing, you'll see at the end that it says to bring your cast on loops back onto the pegs. Okay, and then you sew together. All right, so that's the best thing to keep in mind. So you put those on your cast on loops. Okay, next. Then it says to knit for 7 rows. Okay, so I'm going to toss that over. So you're going to knit 4 for 7 rows. Now, this depends on how you want to do this. If you want to work with a chain to bring back or you want to work with your bridge. I'm going to do it exactly as written so that it tries to make more sense, okay? So, what we're going to do, we're going to knit back and forth for 7 rows, all right? So here is row 2, okay? And here is row 3. All right, so you're going to pause the video, get your 7 rows done, and when we come back, we'll be ready to start a corner. So go ahead and pause the video, get that much done. Okay, now I've done 7 rows, and now we're on row 8. What it says to do is it says to knit 3, wrap and turn, knit 3. So here's 1, 2, 3. And you're going to wrap behind and in front. So, wrap behind and in front, wrap and turn. Then it says to knit 3. That's on row 8. Then on row 2, it says to knit 2, wrap and turn, knit 2. Okay. So you're going to knit 2 in the next row, wrap and turn, and knit 2. Okay. Then it says to knit 1, wrap and turn, So knit 1, wrap and turn, and knit 1. Okay, that completes rows 8, 9, and 10. Now we're on to row 11. So then it says to knit 1, knit 2 together. Then start with the peg you finished with and knit 2. 1, 2. Then knit 2 together. So here's 1, 2, knit 2 together. Then it says to go back, knit 3. So I'm going to knit 3 from that point. There's 1, 2, and 3. Then it says to knit 3, knit 2 together. So there's 1, 2, 3, and then knit 2 together. Okay. Then at this point you want to knit for 11 rows. Okay, so 1, 2, 3. Alright, so back and forth for 11 rows, and you should end up back over here. Alright, so knit back and forth for 11 rows, and then when we come back we'll be ready to do another corner. Okay, and you repeat the corner like we just did. Alright, so you're going to do 11 rows, then you're going to repeat your corner area. Alright, so pause the video, knit for 11 rows. Okay, 11 rows, then you're going to do a corner just like we did. Knit 3, wrap and turn, knit 3. Knit 2, wrap and turn, knit 2. Knit 1, wrap and turn, knit 1. Knit 1, knit 2 together, knit 2. Knit 2, knit 2 together, knit 3. Knit 3, knit 2 together, knit 4. Okay, and you're going to go back to doing that again. Alright, so you've just created a corner. Alright, so that little wrap and turn section is a corner. Now, let me make sure where we're at here. Okay, so 11 rows. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. You should end up back over here because you always want to be doing your corner on the same side. Alright, always on the same side. Alright, so go ahead and pause the video, complete your 11 rows and another corner, and I should be coming back and explaining rows 35 through 41. Okay, I have done my 10 rows and I have done another corner, as you can see. Okay, so here's a corner and here's a corner. Alright, this down. Okay, so I've completed 2 corners. Now, I finished over here. This was the last thing I did. Alright, now we have rows 35 through 41. That is 7 rows. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Alright, so it's 7 rows. Alright, then another corner. Alright, so here's row 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Then do another corner, so knit 3, wrap and turn, knit 3, knit 2, wrap and turn, knit 2, knit 1, wrap and turn, knit 1, knit 1, knit 2 together, knit 2, knit 2, knit 2 together, knit 3, knit 4, knit 3, knit 2 together, knit, knit 2 together. We end up back here, okay? So what that means is you do 7 rows, which is rows 35 through 41. So you knit for 7 rows, do another corner, knit for another 11 rows, do another corner. And then we'll come back at row 68, okay? So you want to follow the pattern, just what we're doing here. So the first thing we did was 7 and knit a corner. Then we knitted 11 and did a corner. We're going to do another 7, knit a corner, then do another 10, knit a corner. So you should have made basically a rectangle. All right, and we should come back and we'll be ready for 68, row 68, and we'll finish this up. So we've done 7 corner, 11 corner, and then you're going to do 7 corner, 10 corner. Okay, and then pause the video, get that much done, and when we come back we'll be on row 68. Okay, as you can see, here's short side, long side, short side, long side, and I've done my last corner, as you can see. And what it says to do is to knit row 68. So here is row 68. All right. The next thing it says to do is to pull that cast on loops around. Now, you're going to make negative side to negative side, okay? Make sure you don't have any twisting going on. So you should be able to nice and neatly fold it in half, all right, so that it's connecting. And you go negative side to negative side, okay? And what you're going to do is you're going to take and place your original cast on loops back onto the pegs, okay? And we've done this in such a way that it shouldn't be too difficult, okay? Okay. So we've placed our cast on loops back. And then what it says to do is to sew the ends together, okay? Now at this point you could do a Kitchener close and it would be virtually seamless. But if you don't want to do that, you don't have to. Okay, you can just sew it up. Alright. So send that through. Okay. So I'm going to send that down. Make sure you get it through both loops. Okay. Then you can take those off the peg. Okay. Now, if what you want to do is go back in and to make sure that the seaming stays snug, you can. Okay. Or you can sew back the other direction. Okay. There we have it. Okay. Now, you can tie these ends together. It's up to you. You can do a Kitchener bind off and that'll close it really smoothly, but this is the back. You're not going to see it. It's the back. Okay. But here is your bodice where you're going to fold it in half. Actually, I believe the short side. Let's see, what does it say? Bridge. Bring a bridge from the corner with the short side facing towards the left. Short sides are your front and back, and the long sides are your sleeves. Alright, so these are your sleeves. This is back and this is front. Okay, I'm going to make sure I start on my back side, and what it means by a bridge, and might I suggest you actually add so you see, let's see if I can get this to focus in. Alright, down. Okay, so you have these two notches here. You have these two notches, a notch, and then a line, and then a notch, and then a line. What you're wanting to focus on is that line, okay? You want to put a stitch marker through the line, okay? And you might want to go ahead and pre-pin these so that they are ready, okay, all the way around, because you're going to use all of them all the way around. You're going to add a little ruffle to the sides and that kind of thing. So what you want to do is go ahead and put stitch markers on the bridges all the way around so that they're easy for you to pull up, okay? And what you're going to do is you're going to be starting on a corner. Okay, so you need to find your very corner, which is going to be here, and you're going to add it to the loom. Sorry. What you're going to do is you're going to find your very end corner, which is here, and you're going to add that to the loom. Okay, and I'll explain that. Alright, go ahead and pause the video and get your stitch markers on all your bridges. Okay, and you should see, let's see if I can get it to focus. Okay, you should see how that looks. Okay, so a bridge is the space between. Alright, so you may want to mark your corners just to make sure, because sometimes it's easier to keep up with where your corners are. So for instance, I know that this is a corner. I'm going to put a different type of stitch marker here. This is where I know I begin. When you put the stitch marker on the corner, that's going to be very helpful when knowing when to switch over and start doing not the skirt, but the kind of sleeve ruffled area. Okay? Okay, now I'm ready for another corner. Okay, right here. Marking it. Okay. So pause the video and make sure you put a marker on your corners that's different from the others. Alright, and we'll come back and I'll show you how to get started, okay? Okay, as you can see, I have gone in and I have put a stitch marker on all my bridging. And what I want to do is I want to start on the back side because I want my seaming for the dress to be on the back. Alright, so here's how this is going to work. What it says is that you want to put your bridge onto peg 1. And don't worry, because we're doing a double moss stitch, it's not really a big thing, so to speak, on which side you go, but because we're knowing our right sides down, if you want to be more particular with that, then you want to start off with the wrong side facing at you, and then you want to choose the short corner that is, let's pull this up a little. Okay, so you've got the back and you have the wrong side facing you and you have Sue's sides. What you want to do is you want to take the left side and put it onto the peg first. Okay, it says to place that onto peg 1. Alright, and then it says you want to cast on 11 pegs. That includes the peg you just put that on. Okay, so here's 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Okay. So I have done my business. Alright. And then it says just to knit over that bridge that you've done onto peg 1. Okay? Easy as that. Alright, now what it says to do on row 1 is to knit the row. Okay. So you're going to just knit the row. And this basically gets you all set up. Okay, so right now we've got our cast on done and we've got our first row done. Now I'm going to get you started with the first 4 rows, and then what's going to happen is on rows 6 through 9 you're going to be doing a repeat over and over and over again. Okay, so here's how this works. It says to knit 2, so we're knitting 2, purl 2, here's 1, and 2, and knit 2, purl 2, I swear getting the dang thing started sometimes is a little rough. There we go. Purl 2. Okay, next. Then it says to knit 3. So here, 1, 2, 3. Alright, then we're on row 3. And you basically just do the reverse. So you knit 3, 1, 2, 3. You purl 2 because we're doing a double moss stitch, and that keeps it from curling what we're doing. Okay. Then we're going to knit 2, purl 2, knit 2. And that is row 3. Alright, then we're on to row 4. And so we're going to switch up. Now we're going to purl 2, knit 2, purl 2, knit 2, purl 2, and row 4. So 1, 2, and then you have where it says E-wrap chain 6. This is going to create you a little lace thing at the bottom. So what you're going to do is you're going to wrap. You're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. Now, what it says to do then is to knit 1. Okay, then it says to purl 2, knit 2, purl 2, knit 2, and then purl 2. Okay. That is row 5. Now, here's where the repeat starts, okay? So it says to bring up a bridge, the next available bridge, which is this here, okay? So you're going to bring that bridge up, and you're going to put it on here, okay? And take that off. Alright. So you're going to bring up the bridge. And then it says to knit 2. 1. So that should be knit 2 together. I'll need to make that adjustment. So knit 2. So knit 2 together and then knit 1. And then purl 2. So here's 1 and 2. And knit 2. 1, 2. And purl 2. Purl 2. Then knit 3. 1, 2, 3. And that's row 6. And what you want to do is knit 3. 1, 2, 3. Purl 2. Knit 2. Purl 2. Knit 2. Okay. Then we switch up and we do purl 2. Knit 2. Purl 2. Knit 2. Purl 2. E-wrap chain 6. So here's 1, 2, 3, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now on row 9, it says to knit 1, purl 2, knit 2, purl 2, knit 2, and purl 2. Okay, and this is where the repeat starts. Then you go back up to row 6, and it says bring up your bridge. Okay, so you bring up your bridge, and you start again. You want to repeat rows 6 through 9 over and over again until you reach your other corner, which is right here. And we marked it. So you're going to repeat this over and over again until you get to your next corner. When we come back, what we're going to do is change up and do our little ruffle edge around the sleeve. Okay? You can skip this section and then just connect the other corner and keep going down here, but I originally wrote it for a little ruffle around the shoulder, so I am going to explain how that's done. So what you want to do is you want to pause the video, repeat from the bring the bridge up, on and on, over and over again from that point on, so 6 through 9 over and over again until you reach your corner. Okay, and you can include the corner in the row 6 through 9. After you finish that corner, you need to come back, and what we'll do is we'll go through another repeat section of rows 35 through 42. Okay, and that's the side bit here. Alright, so pause the video, complete the front panel of the dress, and when we come back, we'll be ready to do up the sides, okay? Pause the video and get that much done. Okay, so this is what it should look like. Alright, so this is what it should look like. Okay. Half your dress done. Alright, now, again, it doesn't matter if you get the wrong side going on this side or whatever, because it's a double moss stitch. It's the same as it looks on one side as it is on the other. Okay, so we're going to be working rows 35 through 42. And what we're doing is we're creating a ruffle, just like with this. We're creating a ruffle along the side. Alright, and we're mostly just going to be focusing on these two pegs. Okay, so what it says to do is to bring your, let's see, bring your next available bridge up, which you should have marked. Alright, and you're going to knit the two together. Okay, you're going to E-wrap chain 6, 4. So here's 1, 2, 3, 4. Then you're going to take and lift not chain, bridge. And knit the two together. Okay, then you're going to erupt chain 4. So here's 1, 2, 3, and 4. Bring up the next bridge, which is right here, and put it onto the peg. Knit the two together. Okay, then you erupt chain 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Alright. And you bring up the next available bridge. Okay. You really are just creating a little lace trim around the side. Alright. So pause the video and get yourself to just before your corner, because your corner you're going to want to be working back and forth all over the complete 11. Alright. So just work your way to here, stop at the corner, and then when we come back, I'll show you how to go about finishing up the second half. And basically there's a lot of repeating going on in here. We're going to be repeating this section where it says you're going to start by repeating rows 2 through 34, okay, which means you're basically going to be repeating this section here. Alright, and then you repeat the shoulder section. So go ahead and pause the video, complete to here, and then I'll show you what to do next. Okay, so as you can see, this is what you just did. Alright, you created a nice little ruffle area over the shoulder. Alright, so what's next, you may ask? You need to start rows 2 through 34. Okay. And basically what that means is you're starting back with this. And I may make an alteration. That actually, go ahead and bring your chain up. Basically what you're going to do is repeat, technically you're going to repeat rows 6 through 9 over and over. Alright, so I'm going to make a change to that. I think that'll make more sense. Okay, so you're going to knit 2 together. Then you're going to knit 1. Okay, and then you're going to purl 2. So basically what you've done is just close off the bottom of your dress by doing this. Created your shoulder strap with a fancy flourish, and then you are going back to what you did. And then when you get to the other corner, you're going to do the same thing with the strap. Okay, so I'm starting with row 6. I'm repeating row 6 through row 9 over and over until I get to this corner. Okay, so I'm going to keep going row 6 through 9, repeating until I get to this corner. Then you're going to come back in the video and you're going to repeat what we just did with the shoulder strap thing here. Okay, so you're going to repeat this, and then when we come back, we'll be on rows 84. Okay, so at this point, you're doing rows 6 through 9, which is basically going right back to this. So if you need a guide, when I say where the repeat section is, go back to that part in the video. Repeat this. This gives you the front of the dress. Okay. Then when you get done with that and you reach this corner right here, you'll want to do this little shoulder section again where you're working with that one peg to create those little ruffles. Okay, and then when we come back, we'll be ready to do row 84. Okay, so there's a lot of repeating in here. Alright, so repeat rows 6 through 9, which is where I say earlier in the video to repeat. Then you're going to repeat the shoulder area that we just completed. And then we'll be coming back and I'll finish up the rest of the dress. Okay, I have finished everything, and as you can see, I've got both sides done. Okay, and what is next is, it says to repeat row 2. So you're going to knit 2, purl 2. Knit 2, purl 2, knit 3. Okay. At this point it says to bind off. So you knit the second one, take it back on, toss the bottom loop over, move over, knit the next one, take it back on, toss the bottom loop over. Go ahead and pause the video and finish binding off, and then we will finish this up. Okay? Okay, I wanted to teach a trick. This is the cast on edge, and as you can see, it's kind of loose. See if I can get this more focused in here. There's a trick I do where you don't have to tighten it, and it still has a stretch to it. What you want to do is you want to find your first and then you want to find your second cast on loops, and you want to pull that through. Find your next cast on loop, which is right there, and you're going to pull it through. Find your next cast on loop, pull it through. Find your next cast on loop, pull it through. And what you're doing is you're creating a chain, but you're also tightening it up. And you don't have to worry about screwing up your tightening. There you have it. That is how you tighten your cast on. And then you have where you have two even sides. Okay? And what you can do, because I have to sew this down, is put a stitch marker in that stitch, that chain. Now, there's a lot of times where you'll want to work towards your cast on tail, where you go the opposite and you work on to your cast on tail. But because I'm going to be sewing this up, I shouldn't have to do that. Okay. So at this point, you want to knot your tails together and then be ready to sew up. And the great thing is you have a chain that you can follow. So, and there is your dress. You can slip it over the doll's head. There is your dress, front and back, side and side. Okay? That is how you make the doll dress from my book.